Hello, Spider Queens and Solar Flares. My name is TB Sky, and welcome back to the boss designs of Dark Souls. Now, it's been a while since the previous episode, because it was December and I had stuff to do, and but now we're doing again. And the last time we left off, we had finally managed to fight our way through Blighttown, and good lord, that was a lot of, I hesitate to call it fun, but it was certainly something. And we had made our way down deep into the swamps, where we found a big evil fiery chaos witch who's mostly a spider and full of fire, and it was very bad, and I got scared and I backed out, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna do an episode about Blighttown instead of fighting the scary spider lady. But now we have to fight the scary spider lady, which means it's time to go through this bloody swamp all over again and get poisoned a lot, and I don't have any poison cure thing left, I don't think. It's gonna be full of bugs, and it's gonna be the dudes with the rocks and boulders. Okay. I'm using the spear because the last time my sword was pretty much, it's like 90% broken or something like that. So that was, I think all of my gear is probably a little bit underleveled for where I am, because like I haven't upgraded it since, good lord, I don't know when, since like before Blighttown? Yeah, since before I even went in to fight the Gaping Dragon, actually. So much poison. I hate swamps. I hate them. I hate them so much. Hey, I do have poison cure. Hooray. Hooray. We have cured the nasty poison. Okay. Yes, hello. I see you. That's a lot of lava. So there's a classic trope going on here, which, you know, one might perhaps better know as the Dungeons and Dragons Drider, which is the which is the dark elf half spider lady thing that is supposedly an incarnation of the queen of the yada yada. But that too is an incarnation of, well, she's not hard to dodge, that's something. It's an incarnation of a much older trope, which is the Black Widow trope, which is, oh damn it, which is something that's been around for a very, very long time. The conflation of the beautiful woman and the ugly spider, which, you know, ties into themes of, like, where a woman who's beautiful is trying to entrap you, therefore be careful, boys, that she doesn't, ow, stop doing that. Well, okay then. This is gonna take a while. I'm just circle strafing her right now, which is nice. I certainly do appreciate that you're putting the fire exactly where I'm not. That is very helpful. I'm trapped behind her legs, aren't I? Yeah. Oh, okay. She can do that, I guess. I don't know what she did, but it killed me. Probably should have seen something like that coming, in hindsight. So anyway, Quelaag. The Black Widow archetype is like, it's as old as dirt. The idea of you know, the dangerous spider trapping you in her web, or the woman using sexual allure and then revealing herself to be a monster, is an incredibly old trope. Like, just old as balls, basically, just ancient. And it's a little bit boring to see it executed so straightforwardly, like, because like the appeal of a design like that is that you get this wonderful juxtaposition of, oh, beautiful woman, but also like one of the most horrifying insect creatures in existence. I know spiders aren't insects, but bear with me. And like that dissonance is what gives that kind of design a lot of its power. That you have this complete disconnect between the obvious aspects of the character and you know, the secret truth hidden beneath. And you can find character designs like this all over gaming. Like, it's the Spider Woman is such a popular design. League of Legends has one with Elise, and I'm pretty sure Dota would have one too as well. And you can find them in pretty much, they're all over the place. But I think it's fair to say that the Drider version, like the spider with the woman centaur concept, as far as I know at least, was mostly popularized by Dungeons and Dragons, at least in the West originally. But it's something that also exists, like, in, I believe Japanese mythology has, like, a Spider-Woman concept that is somewhat similar. to the idea in their yokai, you know, demon tradition. No, you actual... Listen, my dude! It's right there! Jesus Christ. Why is the chosen undead so incredibly incompetent at stabbing a thing that's right in front of him? Where was I? Oh, right. Like, it's a really old archetype, and because it's so common and so prevalent, and it's so used in so goddamn many things, it's also kind of boring, like, especially in a game like Dark Souls, where the bosses are such a draw, and, like, the bosses being interesting in terms of their design. Quelaag just seems like kind of a boring thing. Like, just kind of a standard, like, oh, I guess the spider lady who's beautiful but also very ugly and monstrous. That's honestly a little disappointing. And what's more disappointing is that, like, it's not like she does anything very interesting with her animation or anything. It's like the spider just does spider running, and then the human body part does human body part stuff. Whoa! Hey, I dodged that. Well, I didn't, but I should have. Okay, so I should not be spending too much time close to her is what I can make out, because then she'll do whatever that is, and I will be very sad. I do like the hairiness of the spider. Like, I do like that they emphasize that bit, because that's always, like, one of the best ways to make something unappealing and kind of disgusting is to make it hairy. Like, just things being hairy in a way that isn't like smooth like fur, but where it's just like hairs are just kind of sticking out in places, and there seems to be no rationale behind. How the f did you shoot it that way? That was sideways, you bastard. So in terms of what can we tell about, like, what does she say about the lore of Dark Souls or the world of Dark Souls? Again, I assume that there's gonna be some lore description in her soul when I get it, and she's gonna drop some kind of item that has some kind of description thing, but as the character herself, it's a little, like, you have this human character who's clearly, presumably able to talk or something. It would be nice to have some voice lines. Oh, ho, ho, okay, that's new. During combat, that could tell me a little bit about her personality, or... Okay, I did not gauge the range on that correctly. Tell me a little bit about her personality, or who she is, or what she wants, because, like, again, when you have this, the Black Widow archetype, when you have the spider combined with the woman, usually there's some kind of theme of seductiveness and seduction, and that's certainly in there with her character design, in that she is topless and she's got her titties out there, which I do appreciate. Like, I do appreciate me a good set of titties in a video game. But it's a little... I don't see what the point is of having the titties out with her. Like, you'd get the same horrifying juxtaposition of the beautiful feminine and the terrifying monstrous had her have, like, some clothes on. In fact, if the idea with Quelaag is that she's someone who's been transformed into this monstrosity, like that it's not her what she wants to be, but something terrible happened to her, or it's some kind of tragic curse or something... Communicating that would be more efficient if she had, like, ragged clothes, or like some symbols or signs of the civilized person that she used to be, of the human being she used to be, that's clinging on to her as kind of a reminder of the humanity that she has lost. And clothes are a great way to indicate humanity. I'm not a fan of this design, really. Ah! Why are you the most challenging thing about this whole video? Oh my god. Just stab upwards. Just stab upwards. You have a spear. You have literally a long stick to poke it with. And now here comes another one. Okay, good. That's good. I'm happy. I'm super happy. Thank you. We talked about how, like, it's an interesting decision from a storytelling perspective that you are running around at the foundations of Lordran. These are the foundations that the Grand Human Kingdoms are built upon. And what you find at the foundations of the Grand Human Kingdom is mostly poison and disease and monsters and, you know, rot and decay. which is sort of, oh, right, I see, the Empire was built on, shaky foundations. Oh, I get what you're going for here. But, again, like, this is where I would have liked some kind of poison monster, or some kind of slime beast, especially since we were fighting slimes on the way down here. Like, some kind of poison monster, slime beast, some kind of, you know, seething, oozing horror. Or at least just a character who uses poison as one of her, like, primary attacks rather than fire. Because, like, fire is like you burn things down with fire, or you light a forge with fire to make something, or you build things with fire. It's more creation and destruction than decay. Sort of in... Oh, right, they throw fire at me. Yes, I get it. You are a fire spider. Ow. But I do like how gross the spider is. I do like that. Because it is gross. Like, it's got that big, bulbous back with all the hair on it, like, yeah. And that's good, because, like, if you're gonna go for the juxtaposition between the beautiful feminine and the monstrous spider, then the spider should be damn well monstrous. Like, you should go in on that. You should go hard on it. Oh, this is gonna take a long time. I don't know what that spider ate for breakfast. Presumably another undead, but it clearly hasn't been good for its stomach acid. You should take some, like, antacids or something. I'm just saying. Yes, you have a big fire sword. It's very nice. But I have a spear and enough patience to eventually kill you with it. And now my weapon is almost broken. That's... Whoa, that's good. That's great. Oh, God. I do so little damage. Oh, this is what you get, kids, for not doing proper weapons maintenance. This is the PSA. Okay. Alright. Do I have anything with, like, halfway decent stats that... No, I don't, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going with that. Let's try this weapon I've never used really before in the game. Oh, yeah, you do a lot of damage, don't you? This is definitely not gonna take 10 billion years. Welcome to the exciting world of TV Sky and streaming Dark Souls. Extremely fascinating high-level gameplay, incredible strats, and optimal play conditioning. I want to go to the blacksmith so much, but he's at the top of Blighttown somewhere, and I don't... Well, I could probably go there through the Valley of Drakes, though. Okay, yeah. We're gonna take a shot at her. You know... for the fun of it, and when she inevitably kills me again, we'll have to try and go through the Valley of the Drakes and hope that I can find my way to the area beneath Firelink Shrine, because I remember I accidentally opened the door there with the master key. We take a shot at her, and then we get murdered, and then we go to the blacksmith. Let's try and find our way to the blacksmith. Okay, so, Valley of the Drakes. Presumably there are drakes here? That looks like a thing. What is that thing? Is that a thing that's gonna kill me? Please tell me that thing is dead. It looks dead. Okay. It's not dead! It's definitely not dead! Nope, that's not dead at all! Oh, no. That's a drake, okay. I'm gonna have to go past that, aren't I? Hi, how are you doing? Well, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, buddy. It's been rough for all of us. Why was that dragon not dead? Why was that alive? Or undead? It was undead, I guess. I guess it's an undead dragon. Okay. Like, it was just waiting there to be an asshole to me specifically. This is part of the reason why I decided to stream this game. If I didn't have an audience doing this, like if I didn't have people watching me and therefore I have to continue, I would definitely have become frustrated and just quit. But yeah, if without an audience here, without the pressure of people watching me, and I don't mean pressure in a negative way, but just like the expectation and part of the fun of doing this being performing for an audience in a sense, I definitely don't think I would have been able to keep doing this. I went down here on accident once. I was just exploring and I got down here and it clearly looked like a place that was higher level than I was ready for. Okay. Can we just... I don't have any souls at all. Okay.
Smith, don't let...
Let's just make sure we have some souls to use. Okay, broadsword. Yes, thank God. Spear. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hooray! No! I was trying to hit cancel. I hit cancel and I fell down. And I don't know if I'm laughing because it's funny. I'm not sure it's funny.
Are you okay?
No, not at all. Yeah, all right. I was using a death warp to get back to Blighttown faster. It's a speed strategy. That's what it was. That's definitely what it was. Okay. Okay. All right. So my weapons are crap. So let's just do the whole thing again and go back to Firelink Shrine. From there, we'll find our way to the blacksmith who can actually do something with that ember and improve our weapons, which would be nice. I would like my souls back, please. And I would like you to forget that you ever saw me do that, Mr. Sir, behind the bars. Oh, I have a Firekeeper soul. I can upgrade my Estus Flask. That would be good. I would like to upgrade my Estus Flask. Hey. Yes, please. Thank you. She still can't talk. Okay. Wait, there was a new guy. I hadn't seen that guy before. Who is this guy? Hello, guy.
Well, I see you made it out.
Oh, okay, he's got spells and shit. Okay. I don't think I want to spend souls on that right now. Oh, there's more people here. That guy used to be here. These guys didn't.
Hmm? You look... Times are grim. Don't you dare. You might scare her off for good.
I'm sorry, did you say milady unironically?
Oh. I don't suppose we accompany my lady on her...
Please don't say that unironically.
Can't very well.
We'll figure out what their deal is once I have dealt with Quelaag. Oh, the comforting sounds of blacksmithing. Yes. I have missed you, old man. I feel like I should buy the repair box, actually. Just in case. Oh, country roads, take me home to the place where I belong. Firelink Shrine, oh, country roads, take me home. Not so much country roads as dark, disgusting, slimy passage full of monsters, but that doesn't really scan with the rhythm of the song. Suffer as I have suffered, you bastards. Oh my god, it feels good to have a weapon that can actually do damage. Quelaag, how are you doing? I'm coming to kill you with a sword that works this time. Can I do a better roll in real life? I can, actually. I can do a diving roll. Oh, hello! I didn't realize I had aggroed you. Okay. Hello. Hi. How you doing, lady? Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I missed you too. You are putting a lot of fire on the ground. Fire is not supposed to be on the ground, you silly lady. Fire is supposed to be on other people. Yeah, like that. Don't f it up. Just... why are you alive? Okay. Okay. Alright. There we go. There we go. Okay, her soul. I got her soul. I want to see what the soul has to say before I throw it over to future me. Soul of Quelaag, once daughter of the Witch of Izalith, but now a chaos demon. Special beings have special souls, and Quelaag's soul contains all aspects of chaos. Use it to acquire a huge amount of souls to create... Okay, that doesn't tell me much, because I don't know who the Witch of Izalith is. I want to pull this lever and see how it's going to kill me when I do that. Oh, it's the bell! I almost forgot about the bell. Well, we rang the bell the second the other one. So that's good. That was the quest. After, like, that was what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go down there and ring the bell. And the bell seems to have... Oh. Oh, hello. The bell did something. Who is that? Why is he so big? Why is he so big? Please tell me I don't have to kill him, because he's very big. So, Quelaag, as we pretty much discussed, I think, everything I have to say about her character design already, in that she's kind of a standard, not especially interesting version of exactly her own character design, and while there's nothing really wrong with it, like, she's a competently executed version of exactly what she's, like, what exactly the design they clearly wanted her to be. There's the bonfire. Thank God. So at this point, I'm gonna probably throw it over to Future Skyen, who will take a look at Quelaag's design. Okay, so we just after I thought I was done and I threw it over to Future Skyen, I found, through a little bit of guidance from the chat on stream, this, and I accidentally killed a guy who apparently I should not have killed, but I found this. And hello, mirror of the boss we just fought. This is exactly the same character design repeated, but put into a very different context. So what does she have to say? Well, not much, as it turns out. But this person has clearly had whatever the hell happened to Quelaag also happened to them, but they are friendly and also dying, insofar as I can make out. They are not in a good state. So there's a connection here, and this is where character design, like, becomes much more interesting, is that obvious connection between these two things, but very different color designs. Like, Quelaag was all black, and, you know, fiery hairs on her back, and, like, lots of color going, like the black with the bright orange colors firing through her. This is a withered version of that. This is a ghost of Quelaag, a pale, timid reflection that cannot stand on its own legs, that is sort of crumpling below itself, almost as though Quelaag was protecting her. Given that I found her behind an invisible wall, that certainly seems like a plausible scenario. So that's interesting. So Quelaag is not alone in suffering the fate of being transformed into that spider creature. So there's a story between, because where Quelaag is all sexual confidence, like with the smile on her lips in her intro cinematic, and she's coming out and she's, oh yeah, I'm a spider lady, I'm gonna f you up. This girl has a very different attitude all around. Like, she's clasping her hands in front of her chest, as though in prayer, as though she is, you know, begging for something to happen, perhaps for someone or something to save her. or for a different fate than the one she has clearly been allotted. And she's inside this twisted mountain of a corpse that is alive, but seems to be just barely alive. This wretched half-existence, which is a complete opposite of Quelaag, who's vital and full of energy and, like, who's constantly vomiting on you. Very interesting. Very interesting. And now we will throw it over to Future Skyne, who will try and do a more extensive contrast of the two character designs. Thank you very much, Past Skyen, and good lord, we need to do something about your audio setup, man. It sounds terrible. You keep peaking every time you get loud. Anyway, let's talk about Chaos Witch Quelaag. Now, I think I said more or less everything I wanted to say about the character design in the video and during the fight itself. And so, I mostly want to clarify and put a few things into perspective that I perhaps didn't explain as well as I would have wanted to. So, spider, human, centaur, hybrid creatures, i.e. Driders as they were named in Dungeons & Dragons, were pretty much popularized, especially in the West, with the coming of Dungeons & Dragons back in the late 70s and early 80s. But the idea of a spider creature that has human-like features goes back a lot longer and is featured in plenty of local mythologies around the world. Notably, as I mentioned in the video, in the Japanese tradition of yokai, which is their version of spirits or demons or devils, there are a couple of monsters called the Tsuchigumu and Yorogumu, and I'm definitely mispronouncing both of those. Now, the Tsuchigumu is a giant spider, essentially, which is a big demon, usually controls other demons. It sort of depends a little bit on which stories you listen to, but they were sometimes said to be able to, for instance, take on human appearances in order to make their mischief or cause their troubles. The Yorogumu, however, is perhaps more relevant to Chaos Witch Quelaag because it is said to be a spider-like monster that can change its appearance into a beautiful woman and which controls smaller, fire-breathing spiders. Now, in their best femme fatale Black Widow trope archetype fashion, they will use their appearance as beautiful women to lure hapless men by sexual vials into letting down their guard so that they can be killed and devoured. And it's that particular trope of the beautiful woman contrasted against the horrifying, consuming monster that is perhaps the most relevant one to draw comparisons to when it comes to Chaos Witch Quelaag. Because as we see in her intro sequence, while we are shown the monstrous spider right away, so there's no question of deception, when the camera comes time to introduce Quelaag herself to us, well, it does that stereotypical kind of sleazy male-gazy thing of slowly panning up across her body, making sure to let us know that she is topless, and then rather than actually showing us her face, well, it just kind of lingers halfway down so that all we really get to see is her continued toplessness and this little seductive smile that is crooking on her big luscious lips. And from a character design perspective, that kind of annoyed me just a little bit because I really like just how disgusting and monstrous the spider is. But the whole underlying concept of that particular version of the Black Widow trope is that you're not supposed to see the monstrousness until you have either seen through the illusion or until you have been taken in by the illusion. In other words, I would have preferred if we arrived in the boss room and Quelaag was just a beautiful lady who was perhaps topless or even perhaps fully naked, walking towards us with a seductive attitude, trying to get us to lower our guard. And then, if the player is stupid enough to let her get close enough, then all of a sudden she transforms into her monstrous half-spider form and unleashes a powerful attack that puts you on the back foot right as the fight is breaking out. In other words, I want them to go in on the bit fully, to do the thing of, oh, here's a beautiful woman, isn't she nice, you definitely want to get close to her, ha, psych, it was a giant spider instead, and actually commit fully to the bit. Because the whole point of it is that surprise subversion of expectations, and if you don't have that one, then all you're really left with is just a kind of boring, stereotypical character design that really doesn't have a lot of interesting facets to recommend it. Without the surprise, Quelaag is just another, monstrous spider Black Widow archetype she's got some fire, which is relatively novel, but not on her own very interesting. Of course, it's that little bit on her own that might be the key to what actually does work about Quelaag, because Quelaag, as it turns out, is not on her own. There is another woman pretty much exactly like her, who is hidden behind a secret wall that, thank God, I had to chat while I was streaming, while I was recording the footage, to tell me to go find it, because there we find a pale, ghostly, destroyed version of the same monstrous spider creature that Quelaag is. And that does add some interest to the proceedings. Like I touched on in the video itself, where Quelaag is vital and sexually powerful and aggressive and confident, well, this lady is completely broken, colorless, lifeless, and rather than having an aggressive, confident, come-hither attitude completely in defiance of her terrifying form, she seemed demure, downcast, almost ashamed of what she is. She has her hands clasped over her chest as though in prayer for something. And it's that contrast that recontextualizes Quelaag's design as part of a duality. These are two versions of the same character. They are two sides of the same coin. So what is that coin exactly? What are they supposed to say? Well, the obvious place to go would be to construct them as two different representations of female sexuality. Because the function of the Black Widow archetype, both in literature and all the way back in folklore, is often to serve as a warning or a condemnation about the dangers of unleashed, uncontrolled female sexuality. In other words, watch out for the sluts, boys. Watch out for the ladies with confidence in their own sexuality. Watch out for the ladies who demand pleasure and satisfaction in the same way that you do, because they will trap you in their webs and then they will suck you dry and leave your corpse for the flies. They are monsters and they will consume you. And that particular Black Widow archetype is often identified with fire, is often identified with the contrast between black and red, exactly the colors that we see at play in Quelaag. But the other side of that coin, the chaste, virginal, obedient, good wife maiden character, well, she is often identified with white. So we have two women then. One powerful, dangerous, and unleashed, representing everything wrong and sinful about womanhood, and the other representing the pure ideal of womanhood. Except they're not really opposites at all, are they? In fact, they are practically identical. The only real difference between them is a few superficial details. They are both spiders. They are both monstrous. They are both beautiful. They are both the same. There's no question of one being good and the other being evil. They are just different. You only fight Quelaag because she attacks you, but she attacks you when you enter her lair, and it turns out she might have been attacking you in order to protect the woman who's lying beneath her lair, the woman who can't protect herself. So, here's a reading you can make of these two character designs, that this is a refutation of those old misogynistic contrasts, that womanhood is not either good or sinful, that womanhood is not either the maiden or the monster, that it can be both, and in fact is both, and drawing distinctions between them is almost always based on shallow surface characteristics like presentation. They are both the maiden, they are both the monster, and if you try to pit them against each other, then more the fool you. Now, I don't expect that this particular reading of the characters has a lot to do with Dark Souls lore. I don't expect that the major theme when it comes down to finding out more information about these characters will have anything to do with any of what I just said. What I'm trying to tell you here is that this is a reading that you can make based on the presentation of the character designs as they are in the game without further context. I'm fully prepared that later on down the line when I get some hard information on what exactly they're doing in the game, that the interpretation will have to change, but for the moment, absent other information, this is a reading, and it's a reading I find quite interesting. And that's another episode of the Boss Designs of Dark Souls in the bag. Good lord, but does it take me a long time to get these done. I'm hoping in the new year that I'll be able to do at least one a month of these, and consequently I'm going to try and schedule more live streams to record the footage that I'll need for those videos, but as I say every single time, these videos don't quite get the same number of views that my other work does, and sometimes the financial concern is that I need to chase the things that give more views, which I hate, but if you want to help me alleviate that problem, well, you can head on over to Patreon, and if you have $1 a month, or whatever you can spare, if you're able to spare anything, then that can help me break free from the shackles of advertising and just do whatever the heck I want, including more episodes of the Boss Designs of Dark Souls. Of course, if you don't want to do the recurring thing and sign up for a subscription, you can head on over to Coffee, where you can drop me a little tip of, like, if you have like $3, then you can drop me a tip there one time. And I'll be very grateful for any assistance that you choose to give me. But something I bring up pretty much every video, but which I'm going to bring up a little bit more in this one, is that don't ever feel bad for not being able to support a content creator you like financially. We completely understand what it's like to be broke and not have enough money to make things go around, because that's the permanent condition that we live in. And I bring it up because sometimes I do get messages from people who are apologizing for not being able to support the channel, and please don't do that. It's okay. It's completely okay. We don't want you to hurt yourselves in order to help us, so don't worry about it. Anyway, you can comment on the video down below. You can hit the like button. Both of those things are helpful in the algorithm. So, feel free to do that. And if you have not enjoyed this video, well, there is a dislike button. Although I should warn you that while the dislike button may look nice and shiny and all pretty on the outside, you should not let the looks deceive you, because on the inside of the dislike button, you will find as vile and cruel and murderous of a monster as you will ever know in your short human life, should you have the temerity to touch that dislike button. It will consume you. You will never be the same. Once you start down this dark path, there may be no coming back. Thank you very much for watching.